To the latest edition of the NFL Draft Geek film breakdown. I'm Brian Johannes, and I've got my next video on USC quarterback Sam Darnold. Here's a guy that a lot of people really like. A lot of people might have him as their number one overall quarterback in this class. The next franchise thing, we've seen him compared to guys like Andrew Luck before in that type of level of talent. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a look at uh, the positives and the negatives that I see when I've watched Sam Darnold. Kind of give you my thoughts on those, and then kind of give my overall kind of not necessarily grade, but kind of overall thoughts on what he is like as a prospect and maybe what he can offer to the NFL team that drafts him. This first play that we're going to look at, I feel like it really encompasses everything there is about Sam Darnold. It's going to show you both the positive and the negative and what people really like about him and maybe what they have some concern for. So as we see here, he's in shotgun, and a lot of people don't know this, but USC is a spread team. You know, for the longest time, we think USC in a pro-style offense. You know, this year with Clay Helton and his staff, you know, they're a spread team. They played out in shotgun pretty much exclusively, and had a lot of those same type of concepts. But as we see here, he's in a shotgun, and he's going to make this throw, and he's going to hit this receiver. But if you look how he's standing. His footwork is not very good. You know, his hips are open. He's almost standing straight at, you know, he's almost squared up to the receiver and just throwing it at him like he's just standing there. And he's got the arm strength to be able to, line it out there, and the receiver is able to extend for the catch and still run. So you see the arm strength. You see the ability to throw with anticipation, you know, and the fact that he's leading the receiver. But you see some concerns maybe with the footwork. Okay. Kind of go with that footwork issue. If we look down the line later in the game, here's another example. Okay. Here he is. He's in shotgun once again. And just look at his footwork. Once again, he's kind of open. He's off bound. You know, he's not, in stride. I know there's a defender coming. And the same thing. Look how he is squared up to the, he should be kind of in a line with it, and stepping into that throw. And he ends up throwing it. And unlike the last one, where he is able to lead it and the receiver is able to make the catch on the slant, the ball goes, that's about a good, yard in front of the receiver. And he was open. He could have caught that and got at least another 5 to 10, maybe even more yards. So that's an area of concern. I know a lot of people want to hammer Josh Allen from Wyoming, that quarterback, on his footwork. Sam Darnold's footwork is just as bad, and Darnold, maybe has a higher completion percentage, but he's got a lot of those same kind of concerns. Let's look at some of the positive, and he's able to make some really nice throws. We see here kind of a deeper route. He's got nice touch down the field. He's throwing in rhythm. Once again, maybe falling a little off his back foot. And he's able to drop this ball into that receiver. A little out in front. The receiver had to extend a little bit and make a one-handed catch to kind of reel it in. But he's still able to drop that ball into him. I'd rather have him be long on those throws than short. So he's definitely got that ability to throw those bucket throws. We see here another one later on in the game. Another down the field throw, and he's able to hit his receiver on stride. Okay, and the receiver is able to extend and make that catch. Once again, kind of dropping it over a defender into where only the receiver can get. We have another thing about him is his ability to, kind of keep plays alive. He's a good athlete. He can move well within the pocket. He's used as a runner. So here, this play, it just kind of shows stuff's not open. You got a defender coming off the edge. He's able to step up in the pocket, and I like how he's still in phase. He's looking downfield. Nothing's there. He sees Bosa coming off. He's able to make that quick lateral move to his left, and then he repositions himself and throws a nice little touch pass. So you have the big arm strength that he's been able to show. He was able to take a little bit off, once again, drop it into his defender, and make something really out of nothing. His ability to sit in that pocket and read the field was impressive there. Kind of continuing with that, his ability to throw on the run. And that's one of the best things. And you hear a lot of people say, hey, he's good outside of structure. Well, here it is again. He's taking the snap, hey, pressure up the middle. He's able to run to his left, reset quick, and fire this ball into the receiver coming across the field. He can throw running to his left. He can throw running to his right and make those types of plays. Now, a couple more concerns you have maybe with his decision making. Here's one play early on in the game where he's going to throw a pick six. And keep an eye on this defender right here. That looks like that's Jerome Baker. Nope, number 7. No, it's not Baker. He doesn't even see that guy. He's sitting there. He's reading the quarterback coming in on that play action, and he's going to throw a slant route. And look where this DB is right there. Be able to just jump. It's practically thrown right to him, and he races in for a touchdown. That's not seeing the defender. He stared down that receiver, and and they got in a big hole right there. And if you remember this game, Ohio State jumped out to a big lead, and this was one of the big reasons for it. One last clip that I'm going to show you is once again on his decision making. And he's just making a throw that he doesn't have to make. So he just made a long throw along the sideline. And so he's going to go deep against again. He had a pump fake, and he ends up unloading it. And look where he's throwing that. There's 3 defenders. That's a tough throw to make. Maybe he's hoping his receiver's going to go up and get it. Ends up should have been an interception. That's a throw that you can't make. I know they're down 24-0, so a big part of that maybe is trying to get some points on the board, but that's a throw that you can't make, and you have to, live to fight another day. And luckily he was able to because the defender dropped the ball, but it just goes into, we just saw the one where he didn't see the defender there. Did he not look? He's throwing into coverage, a ball that should have never been there. All right. With all that said, I do like Sam Darnold, but I just kind of felt like I was wanting more out of him. He's a little too inconsistent. I'd like him, if you're going to compare him to Andrew Luck, you're going to be the number 1 overall quarterback in this class. I want more out of him. I want him to be a lot more consistent with his play. As we speak right now, he's my number 2 quarterback in this class, my 18th overall prospect. I think there's a clear gap between him and Josh Rosen. He offers a little bit more. Maybe his character is a lot better, according to people. It seems like he's clean off the field. Rosen, maybe has some, whatever what people want to call it, jerk qualities or what. But Darnold doesn't have those. He's played big in some big games. You look at the Penn State Rose Bowl. This past, not this year, but the year before. He was on point in that game. He led all these touchdown drives and got them the win at the end. He doesn't seem fazed by anything. He seems like he's the same cool, calm demeanor. But I think he's got work to do. I'm not sure he can come in day one and be a starter. And who knows, maybe he does. And you build the offense around him as you slowly progress him. But I think he's going to go in the top 5. I think the Jets could strongly look at him. They got Eli Manning that they want to play for another year or 2. You could sit Darnold behind him and let him develop. Cleveland, depending on if they bring in a veteran, Darnold seems like a guy that they could go after too. The Broncos could be an option. I wouldn't be shocked if he slid a little bit. Maybe he was the 3rd quarterback taken behind Mayfield and Josh Rosen. But I still think he's probably the 2nd, within the top 3 quarterbacks taken, and probably picked in the top 5. Unless, the Jets take him at 6. Buffalo could be trading up too, so that could be another option. But, I like the Tony Romo comparison. I think that fits him well. A guy that can move around, and maybe his legs are used more early on in his career, and as he continues to develop more that pocket passer as his career progresses. So I hope you guys like this. The best way to get these is to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you're following me at draft_Brian. Follow at NFL Draft Geek also. And just make sure you're hitting up NFL Draft Geek for all your NFL draft news. We got mock drafts. We got player rankings. We've got, podcasts. We've got, several different articles, scouting reports. So we got everything that you need for the NFL draft. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.